All right, Christian, we need to get into this, though, because I got to go grab a Kenny G record that's in my mailbox. So,
Wait, what?
I had a Kenny G record delivered today.
All right. We need to have an agreement. Please never play Kenny G.
Do you want to know why I got it? Number one, it was on eBay, so it was like $5. I bought a record player recently, and I want to have a great collection of great music, and I want people to be combing through it and then just come across Songbird by Kenny G and be like, what is this doing here?
You know what I hate about Kenny G?
Everything.
He ruined the sax solo in pop music.
Yeah, maybe.
Because growing up, it was either a guitar solo or a sax solo. It was nothing else. Sure. And then Kenny G came out. Everybody was over the sax solos.
Like, you know what? I think we're all right.
I miss Kenny. A good Clarence B. Clemens sax solo.
Of course.
I don't know if you know who that is.
I got some Louis Armstrong over there. I got some B.B. King live from, what's that, jail that he was at?
B.B. King's a little bit better for me than Louis Armstrong. I'm string instruments, piano, violin, cello,
B.B. King's great, but Louis Armstrong is a classic.
He is a classic. I just don't like him.
And I thought if I have a record player, I have to have some classic jazz albums and like classic. I mean, like What a Wonderful World is top 10 of all time songs. I think it has to be.
It's so boring. So boring.
But see, that's the beauty of it. Is it's like such a wholesome song.
No, man.
It's simple. It's a reminiscent of a bygone era that maybe we should bring back every once in a while. Yep.
No, I don't. No, man. He couldn't even go to a normal bathroom. I don't want to bring back that era.
What's so great about going to normal bathrooms, first of all, Christian?
Because back in the day, they probably cleaned the whites only bathroom, not the other one.
Oh, the whites only bathroom, of course. Maybe it wasn't such a wonderful world after all, huh, Louis? Just kidding, it was. But there's just great albums that I need to have on a vinyl collection, right? And I wanted Songbird by Kenny G. And I've, truthfully, never listened to Kenny G. I just know that it's right to hate on the guy.
Yeah,
and so if I get this, though, and I put it on because I have to listen to it, and I put it on, I'm like, I think I might like Kenny G, then we might have a problem. But we'll find out
Here's another
more.
problem with Kenny G. He comes from the end, like the last part of the radio era.
Sure.
And like when I tell people at work why I can't stand certain music, I'm like, I used to have to hear that 3 times an hour on the radio.
Once, twice,
when you have radio back in the day, especially, pop radio, it ruins things for you because they overdo it.
Kenny G was on the radio?
Yeah.
That seems even worse.
Yeah.
But I'm going to find out after this episode. And on this episode, apologies for just not getting to this, we are diving into some listener stories. Again, it's been a while. And I'm going to say this right up front. When we said a couple episodes back that we need more stories, a few of you sent in stories. And so those didn't make it because I had already fleshed out an episode pretty much. So you'll be in the next one. Don't worry. If you recently sent in stories in the last 4 to 6 weeks, they will be in the next volume. But for now, volume 13 of Freaky Listener Stories is coming in hot. We got some doozies for you. And we will see you on the inside when I restart this computer because it's already freaking out.
You are now entering the realm of the freaky deaky, an unsuspecting stop at the crossroads of fantasy and reality, where the frayed edges of make-believe seep into this cookie-cutter white picket world you've been led to believe is far from extraordinary. What you're about to hear are true stories.
Alleged true stories.
Christian, just... okay? Tales of the strange and inexplicable thought only to exist in film and folklore. Although difficult to accept, we do not know everything about this reality, about time or space, what lies beneath the ocean's depths. And try though we might, the unchanging truth remains. There are some things we legitimately cannot explain logically.
Wow, 30 seconds ago, you're like, I'm going to see if I can get through this without coughing. That didn't go too well.
No.
Folks, what you will notice right off the bat is if you remember the end of last week's episode, or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about everyone in the house getting the flu or whatever, and it being a rough time. Well, we are still experiencing that. We're better, but I'm in that fun stage where I sound like a 90s DJ now. And that's going to last for about 6 weeks or so, and Christian's just coughing up a storm. You don't sound very nasally, though.
Luckily, but I can...
Yesterday you sounded very nasally, and now we're recording and you don't. So
it comes and goes.
It comes and goes. Okay. Karma Chameleon.
Culture Club.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks to everyone that is a member. As you know, I should just do the live stream right now and just announce it at the same time. 6 weeks ago, roughly, I went on live on Instagram to tell you guys about the memberships. It's available now. We realized that, 40% of our audience is on Apple Podcasts, 20% is on Spotify. So just having YouTube memberships really wasn't doing our listeners any justice. So we took a couple weeks off, and a lot of work was done into getting Apple Podcasts and Spotify both having subscription options now. Spotify is the cheapest, and the reason being is that Spotify lets us keep most of the proceeds. So all we had to do was transfer our show over to Spotify to host it there, so we could give you guys this option as well. So thank you to everyone that has pulled the trigger on that. It really is a spectacular and humbling thing to witness, as I thought surely there'd be 0 subs. But now we got to kick it into high gear, and I can't just pull the plug on this podcast, which I think about every single week. Every single week, I'm like, is it time?
No, it's time to make this podcast. So it's your job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I keep thinking of new show ideas that we could do instead of this podcast that would be funnier and even better. So it's almost like if this were to die out, then I'd be like, hey, time to launch this one. I was actually on the way home today. I was thinking about I'm Sorry for This, and I haven't done an episode for that since like September. And I was like, what would be the funniest premise for that show is if I interviewed like psychiatrists, and then I just try to get free, like free info from those. So let's say that I had anger issues, right? How would you handle, and just make it seem like it's a show for psychology and psychiatrists and whatnot, but then I'm just really trying to get free therapy work.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Hilarious.
Self-help.
Yeah.
Or self-care.
Yeah. Or the other option was to get one of those Chaise Longue chairs, right?
I don't even know what that is.
That's like the shrink lay down chair. And I just sit there and get all my problems out.
Have you actually been to a
therapist? Yeah.
Yeah. I have been to a therapist, and I have never seen one of those chairs.
Yeah, I know. I was really let down.
I think it's a movie thing for the most part, or maybe it's a rich thing.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're, paying the therapist $1,000 a session, you get that special
It's
chair.
office by office, I think. But for sure, like the one I went into, it was literally like a love seat that I would sit on. And then he'd be like 5 feet away in a chair like that and just like, so what's going on?
Tell me about your mother.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I stopped going was I'm just talking to this guy for an hour.
That's what you're supposed to do, though.
I was like, but I vent to everyone in my life, so I'm doing that for free regardless. So why am I paying you, clown? Just kidding, Jason. I hope you're doing well. I see you from time to time. I drive by and I go, still messed up. It's fine. And it's fine.
We're all
for you
messed
guys.
up down here.
Yeah, that's very true. We're going to go ahead and get into this episode because we are really dragging.
Wait, I have one quick thing to say.
What? Did I forget something?
No, you didn't forget anything, but there's something that came up. By the time you guys get this, it's way in the past. But did you know that the government is blackmailing podcasters? Not just our government, many governments.
Well, I feel kind of left out.
I know. Maybe we need to talk about the government so they'll pay us to go to Abu Dhabi and promote their...
Now, this isn't like the $7,000 check, right?
Whatever it is, it's ridiculous.
Because I really would have liked a piece of that action. I'll talk about anything for $7,000, guys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? You'll know if we sell out very quickly. All right?
I'll admit it.
Yeah, we'll be like, yeah, hey, guys, we sold out. So anyway.
You know what, though? When we sell out, we're not really selling out. We're just doing it for the money. We're going to still...
We'll wink at the camera every time we say something about...
There'll be codes. You guys will understand.
Yeah, that's fine. Speaking of understanding, we should probably...
Yeah, let's hear some stories.
Story. The first one's from Bobby, actually. Shout out to Bobby.
Yo, Bobby
is on the Facebook group and very chatty. Great dude. Atheist. We can fix that. We can fix that.
Sometimes I don't think you can.
Doesn't believe. We can fix that, Bobby. But also sends in a Bigfoot story, so...
You don't have to believe.
Make up your mind,
You just have to be a decent person if you're good.
Wow. Okay, you don't come here for that kind of advice. Anyway, this is from Bobby, and it's about a Bigfoot in Montana. And I really hope I haven't shared this story before. My mind is a cloud. Okay? You understand? So, for the time being, we're going to pretend like this is a new story. Bobby, if I've already said this one, apologies, but just let me believe that it's fresh.
It's so good. If this is the second time, it's that good of a story. We had to do it a second time.
Yeah, it's like couscous, but of stories.
Couscous is not good.
It's the food so nice they named it twice.
Oh, I get it now.
So now the story's so nice we read it twice.
I get ridiculed for coffee and you don't?
Yeah, pretty much. So anyway, Bobby says, I told Scott in an early post of mine that I now believe in God and everything is great. Oh, thanks, dude. Just kidding. He didn't say any of that. He said, I told Scott in an earlier post of mine that I would be willing to share a strange encounter that happened back in 2013 while I was coyote hunting with my friends. So here it is. I lived in this property called Brotherton Ranch near Thompson Falls, Montana, where I grew up. And me and my friends would go out early in the AM, midday, and even at night to kill coyotes. They killed the ducks and chickens all the time. Hey, you don't need a reason, man. If you just want to go out and kill some coyotes, yeah.
You kind of do need a reason.
Yeah, just go do you.
If they're killing your stuff, that's okay. If they're just walking around being a coyote and you kill them, you're kind of cruel. So I do understand the justification as somebody that's hunted coyotes before.
Oh, big guy hunting.
No,
coyotes.
I'm glad we never got one. They're too close to dogs. That would bother me.
Yeah. Anywho, I get home one day and my girlfriend and her friend came up to my car and tell me there's something on the edge of the field jumping at a group of Canadian geese. I looked out from the porch and didn't see anything. I asked them to describe it, and they said it was black, about the size of a medium-sized dog, had a long tail, and was jumping at the geese trying to catch them. I called friends who were there in less than 15 minutes. We had to head out to the Rock anyways to set up some snare traps. The Rock. Interesting. When we got out there, we found geese feathers everywhere, but nothing more. The Rock was a clearing we found deep in the forest a month or so prior. In the center was 3 large flat rocks with an obvious coyote den underneath that went into the ground. All around in the clearing were bones, skulls, and antlers. Everything looked really old. The antlers were white, weathered, not by Creed, nice, and chewed on by rodents, so nothing worth taking. We got to the den, set our snares, searched the area outside the clearing, found some more dens, set some more snares, and left. On our way back, we were just casually walking and while not paying attention to anything. We were about 400 feet from the fence where the back of the field started, and all of a sudden there was an explosion. A large, hollowed out, and very rotten log. It was very startling and confusing. We weren't sure what the explosion was until we checked it out later. This animal took off running on all fours, keeping low to the ground when it wasn't jumping over downed trees. It was pitch black and incredibly fast, unrealistically fast. I shot and 2 friends shot, but with no luck. My first thought was that it looked like a chimpanzee, but I kept it to myself. We ran after it about 200 feet, but lost it quick. We had no chance of keeping up with it. On our way walking back, I didn't want to mention that I thought it was a chimpanzee. I knew what I saw, but I didn't want to just throw it out there and influence the minds of everyone with me. The power of suggestion? Yes, of course. So I said, that was the darkest colored coyote I've ever seen. My girlfriend's cousin said, that looked like a coyote to you? That wasn't a coyote. That was a monkey. Everyone else agreed, including me. I explained to them I didn't want to say that out loud. They understood. Everyone agreed that it looked like a shaggy-haired chimpanzee running and jumping over logs. No long tail, though. We went to investigate the area where the rotten log exploded. There were chunks of it all over the trail we were following. They all agreed that whatever it was dropped from the tree onto the log, causing it to explode. I feel it's more realistic that it was hiding in the hollowed rotten log and broke out when we startled it. One night, while me, my girlfriend, and her mom were in Missoula, we got a call from my girlfriend's younger brothers around 9:30 p.m., and they said something was running around the trailer banging on the sides. We could hear this over the phone. It was loud and all around the outside of the house very fast. The cops were called to go up there and investigate. They found nothing, but they did say that the animals throughout the ranch were all going nuts. A night when me and my friends had the PS3 hooked up on the porch, we thought we could hear a sound, but we weren't sure, so we paused the game, turned down the music, and listened. It sounded like a large drunken person walking along the edge of the forest, aggressively speaking gibberish. It didn't sound like the Sierra sounds, but it wasn't too far off. When I first heard the Sierra sounds in 2015 or so, the hair on the back of my neck stood up because it was close enough to what we had heard. Another time we were all on the porch, something roared at us. We all looked at each other thinking it was one of us, and it happened again. It was none of us. It sounded almost identical to an African lion roar, which bears and cougars don't sound like. I heard years later, mostly through Sasquatch chronicles, after all these happenings, that Bigfoot roars sound a lot like an African lion, and that they're sometimes seen moving on all fours. I've also been told that a juvenile Sasquatch looks very similar to a chimpanzee. I don't necessarily believe in Sasquatch, but I think it's possible, just unlikely. Regardless, I saw something that wasn't supposed to be there, whether it was a chimpanzee or not. About 2 miles away, there's a ridge. By the way, the crow flies. That brings me back to a Louder Milk episode. I'm not going to get into that, though. It's fine. Across the river from where all of this happened, people stopped cutting firewood up there years ago because of the feeling of dread and seeing things ducking behind trees. Up this old grown over road is where I found a print when I was 10 that looked like a large human or orangutan footprint in one not yet melted patch of snow overlooking Highway 200 that runs along the ridge. This footprint, and what my grandpa told me as a kid, is what got me into this topic. Very interesting story, Bobby.
Yes. He mentioned that at first he saw a tail, right?
I think that's what he was told. There was a tail.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if he saw it.
Okay, because I was going to say that's definitely not a chimp. Chimps don't have tails. Can't be a monkey because monkeys aren't that big. Also,
I guess it could be a Dogman.
definitely not a Dogman because those aren't real. We've
I
established that many times.
I forgot. Yeah,
I've told everybody Dogman does not exist. It's Bigfoot.
Bigfoot with pointy ears and a snout.
No,
Get it right.
It's Bigfoot, but maybe you just imagine a dog head because you like dogs. I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
And maybe Columbus also imagined dog-headed men, huh?
Columbus imagined he was
Or
in
was it
India.
Magellan? Was it Magellan?
Yeah, I think it was.
It's one of those people imagined dog-headed men, didn't they?
Hopefully it was Magellan. I respect him at least a little bit. Columbus, not so much.
You know, stop hopping on the woke train. Columbus is fine.
I haven't liked Columbus since I was a kid. I'm like, even as a kid, I was like, there were people already here. It makes no sense. But as I got older and read history, just less impressive.
Mm.
Also, he treated his people crappy.
Well, way to take the wind out of our sails,
You're the one
Christian.
that took it out. I was just saying I don't like Columbus, but I do like a good Bigfoot story.
Thank you. And Bobby thanks you for finding your way back.
Yeah. Montana's always a fun place to hear Bigfoot stories.
That's where my mom thought she saw her Bigfoot, I believe.
I mean, it's close enough to Canada to where I always feel like if Bigfoot exists, they do some migrations.
It'd be around Canada for like the free healthcare or something, probably.
Or the big trees. Easier to hide in.
Yeah. Or the big poutine platters.
Yeah. But it sounds like they're more into like regular forest food.
That does sound very fascinating, though, Bobby. I wish that it had happened to me. Unfortunately, I have zero Bigfoot stories.
I know. I've always been interested in Bigfoot. I've never found a track. I used to hunt.
We've kind of mentioned that we're going to be doing random one-off things for the memberships. I think one of those is we should do Danny Ghost style, just go out in the woods with a camera and start singing about camping and shit and seeing if...
Banging on some trees.
Yeah, Bigfoot. Oh, dude, have you watched and you need to if you haven't, because it's like a parody documentary, and it's something about... I wish I could... It's a long title, but it's something like 10 Crazy Facts About Bigfoot. The last one will blow your mind or something. Like, that's the title of the actual documentary.
I feel like I began that.
You should watch the whole thing because he does pretty much what I would want to do out in the woods and just like make an absolute fool out of myself. Like, we're not serious like Tony and these guys going out in the woods with rifles, all right? You're not going to catch that here. You're going to catch me with a PB&J and maybe a snack for Bigfoot, just serenading the hell out of the big guy, being like, come on out now.
I'll bring the gun.
Yeah, I don't have a gun except for these bad boys. What?
Ooh,
yeah,
sexy.
so I'm going to be taking these bad boys and also PB&J, as I mentioned earlier.
How much you bench?
I haven't benched in like 10 years, and back then it was like maybe 260.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I lift toddlers for a living, so I could probably bench a clean 36. Clean 36.
Yeah. Is that what he weighs?
Yeah. That is exactly what he weighs. So... Great story, Bobby. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you always coming up with fun topics in the membership, or not the membership, the members Facebook group. Not the members, the Facebook group. You know what I'm saying, Bobby. You know where you're at, damn. It's fine. I made it seem like it was his fault that I was stuttering all the time.
Yeah.
It's just classic projection.
Victim blaming.
It's cool. So anyway,
I want more Bigfoot stories, folks. More Bigfoot stories.
We've really only gotten like 3 Bigfoot stories over the years.
Yeah, convince me they exist.
No, don't convince Christian. Just have a good time talking about it. Because if there's one thing we've learned over 6 years or whatever it's been, it's that Christian cannot be convinced.
It is pretty hard. I do believe that there probably was a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I'm just struggling to believe that they're still able to exist now.
And I should actually take that back. You can be convinced, but you don't ever admit to being convinced. You just move your goalposts of what you...
What have I been convinced of? Bigfoot?
In the comments, let Christian know what he's been convinced of over the years.
Yeah, because I can't remember sometimes.
Well, Bigfoot, I feel like you've definitely come a lot closer.
Bigfoot, I kind of always believed since I was a kid.
See, I'll never even get the credit for anything. All this work, I made an entire production out of trying to convince you that things are real. And you're like, I guess I've always kind of believed.
I mean, I always wanted to believe, but I love the Bigfoot stories. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know why.
And he loves the probing.
That's going to come up soon on an episode.
Isn't that nice? Christian's love of probing is going to come up on an episode. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
So grab your EMF reel and your walking cane. Let's hunt for ghosts or fall asleep. Look out! It's the Butterscotch Gang, so cancel your 4 p.m. snooze and tune in for a wild and wacky hang. There's only one thing left to do. Welcome in the Butterscotch Gang.
I don't know where you think I have this time to actually get back in the dating scene.
Sometimes, Christian, you actually don't need a lot of time, and sometimes it's really just more of a mingle, you know?
No, Christian mingle.
You just, Christian mingle. Christian mingle. We'll introduce you with a nice lady named Mingle. Start you off. Nice little appetizer.
I'm not sure there's ever been a nice lady named Mingle.
In all of time, there had to have been.
I'm going to go with that.
You believe in like 700 bajillion years, so that's a long time for a lady named Mingle to have existed. Me, it's a lot less realistic because, mine's more in the thousands,
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Mine's in the thousands when it comes to humans.
Isn't it weird that it's been almost 2 years since we talked about dinosaurs and humans roaming together? What a fun episode that was. I thought for sure that was going to be on the show. I'm like, people are not going to appreciate this. And you didn't. Who would have thought? But it's fine.
There's a lot of people that still believe that. I don't know how, but okay.
It's me.
It didn't happen, but okay.
Well, if that's the theme for every story we have on this show, Christian.
Not every story, but that one's pretty good.
Anyway, we have a story from Isaac
Newton?
Yeah, actually, he came back from the dead just to share this with us.
Was there a worm in that apple?
And
isn't he the one that had the apple fall and he figured out gravity?
You think there's a worm in there?
It was an old
just
apple.
A question? Oh.
Well, it was hundreds of years ago.
So it had to, it's fine, guys, whatever.
Yeah, you know where we're going. We don't know, but you know.
Yeah, exactly. And Isaac, actually, I wanted to get his story in the last episode, but we just did not have enough time because we like to ramble like a couple of old ladies, like a couple of old gals.
Golden girls.
Spinning a yarn. And so anyway, Isaac sent this over Instagram. And it's time. It's time for your debut. Says, I also have a story from my dad that I didn't think until now to share. So my grandpa and my dad knew this old mechanic who lived down the road from them their whole life. My dad's name is Travis and my grandpa's name is Marshall. And the old mechanic they knew was Billy Lewis. My dad used to always go into the field behind Billy's house to pull parts off an old car Billy had from his days as a mechanic. One day my dad and my grandpa were doing that and my grandpa had gotten finished doing it and went back into the barn with Billy because it was getting late at night. So my dad was back in this huge field about a quarter mile away from Billy's house all alone when he saw a flashlight pointing at him. He couldn't see anybody, and the flashlight was going up and down like somebody was walking towards him. But all he could see was a blue flashlight. It was an old plastic one from the 70s, 80s, so he could see it was blue because the light bulb kind of shone through the plastic, and I can visualize what you're saying. So beautifully said. I
had many of those flashlights.
Yeah. My dad called out and nobody answered, and then soon after, the light kind of disappeared. Whoever either walked away or it just faded out. I don't remember my dad's description, but he went not long after back into the house and asked if either my grandpa Marshall or Billy Lewis had been out there with a flashlight, and they both said no. My dad was pretty freaked out and was like, "Are you sure? It was a blue flashlight. Are you guys sure you weren't out there?" And Billy was like, come here. And he went into a drawer in some other room of the house. This is an old mechanic, so it's not like the house is tip-top shape. It's more like there are a billion things everywhere. He went into another room.
Sorry, I was holding it.
You were holding it. Well, you could have held it for another paragraph,
I
Christian.
was about to die.
It's fine. This is an old mechanic, so it's not like the house is in tip-top shape. It's more like there are a billion things everywhere. He went into another room and then opened a drawer, shuffled some stuff around, and out pulled a blue flashlight. And Billy said it was the flashlight that his dad used for years when he would go pull parts off of cars when working late at night, and that it hasn't worked in years and didn't even have batteries that would fit. But it was the exact flashlight my dad swore he saw. So that was really spooky, and I think the only ghost story I've ever believed, and that my dad has said and believed and lived. That's a pretty good story. I love those kind of old family ones. It reminds me a little bit of, remember when we had Amanda and she was talking about her grandpa roaming the farm, and that picture they got. Those are wholesome. I always like hearing that stuff. That's a good one. Thank you for sending that in, man.
What do you think was out there?
Sounds like a grandpa.
I thought the grandpa was there, though.
The flashlight that his dad, so the great-grandpa then,
Okay.
whatever it was, the dad of the dude. That'd be kind of, I mean, that would, look, it doesn't take a lot to freak me out. Surprise. So I would be terrified seeing any of that stuff just because, like, the idea of an invisible person and a flashlight, I'm like, what you gonna do, dude? You know, why you coming at me with that flashlight? Please don't put it down, you know. But then if you put it down, I can't see it at all. So maybe keep holding on to it, but just walk away. I think ghosts would probably just be done with me after I start talking for a couple of minutes. Yeah, no, never mind. It's not worth it.
Yeah, this is too much work.
I'll just go back. I'll go back. It's fine. He's a little pansy.
Yeah, I'm going back to Christian's house. He just ignores me because he doesn't believe in me.
That's true. Yeah, you think that they're just split their time between the two of us. They're just like, oh, I'm going to see what Scott's up to now. What if we did have a resident ghost in here and it just split its time between us?
Let me put this straight out there. We do not invite a resident ghost in here.
Oh, I thought they don't exist, you know? Greetings. Again, sorry for that. I have to clear out the old sinuses every 35 minutes, apparently. What a treat. Good news, though, is for those of you wondering, my mucus is returning to a color that it should be. So I know everyone was concerned for a moment, like, hey, what color is Scott's mucus?
It sounds like that old MTV commercial where the guy blows his nose and he's like, it's an MTV logo. You want to see? And he goes, and the person, like, the camera's just focused on him. He's like, well, I didn't want to show it to you either.
Wow.
Classic MTV.
Classic MTV. So this was actually a comment from a relatively new user on YouTube, KellyCat702. And it says, UFOs, Grim Reapers, and Vegas high strangeness. Ooh. Shout out to the homies in Vegas. That was my last abode before coming out to Alaska and disappearing.
You do kind of disappear when you come up here.
I kind of disappear whenever I move, actually.
How
I
do
don't
you?
keep in touch with anyone. I'm like, oh, it's nice knowing you. Childhood friends. Anyway, see ya. And then everyone's like, man, I really miss Scott. He's the best. What happened to him? Or whatever. I'm not there, so they're probably not saying that, but it's fine. Anyway, Kelly Cat says, where have you guys been? I love the banter between you two. Thank you. First of all, we've been here for a long time.
Yeah, we've been waiting.
Nobody pays attention. You know?
Did you send out the invite 2 years ago to her, like I told you, or Kelly?
No, I told you I don't send invites. I just disappear. Okie dokie. She said, speaking of Lockheed, growing up in Las Vegas, smack between Nellis Air Force Base and Area 51, and the test site, what is now considered Summerlin on the outskirts of northwest Las Vegas. I used to live in Summerlin. Great spot. Very close to the Red Rock Canyon Loop. My parents bought our house in 86. I was 5 years old, and there really was nothing around us but desert, like the second caller talked about. This must have been on our FRIGHTLINE episode. I'm glad you found us through FRIGHTLINE. Literally nobody watches that show. Nobody watches FRIGHTLINE.
Weird.
It's like you guys don't know that it exists. That's a show that we put out once a month, usually. Nobody watches it.
Everything is true on it, though, so you should.
Well, everything is true on all the shows we put out, Christian.
No, not the demon stuff.
It's fine. Whatever. It's very dark at night. Unbeknownst to me as a kid, our house was right under a major flight path for Nellis, which is completely awesome during Red Flag Week. being able to see the most amazing jets fly above my home from all over the world.
That is true. Having come from came from a place where that happened a lot too. So
That is true. Well, back in 1986, and 5-year-old me was playing in the backyard with my dog, and I hear this low rumble in the sky like a vacuum. Now, I know it's the sound of jets, though as a kid I had no idea. I am seeing this triangle-shaped aircraft flying over my house on an almost nightly basis. I go in and tell my parents this is when E.T. had come out. I said there's a spaceship flying over our house. Nobody believed me until my mother saw it one night when we were having a barbecue. 2 years later, the government reveals the Lockheed F-117 stealth fighter, which makes me wonder how many of these sightings of things is really our government not letting us in on, whether it is you visiting UFOs or experimental technology they don't want us to know they have yet. But I have seen a lot of other things living on the outskirts of Vegas, hearing Native American drums. Heather heard that out here. Creepy. And chanting in the middle of the night. My mother's seen the Grim Reaper while driving on her way to Lake Mead as a teen in the late 60s.
that would be sweet.
The Grim
I
Reaper...
mean, no, it wouldn't. Grim Reaper, stay the hell away from me right now.
Oh my God, there he is now. The Grim Reaper was walking through the middle of the desert. Suddenly, he crossed in front of her car and froze time and turned, looked right at her, and told her to shh. Then finished crossing the road, and the sound and movement started again, and my mom didn't do drugs. So that is crazy, dude. That is crazy. And I genuinely believe that story. So I don't know what it was, but I genuinely believe that story.
I don't know if it was the Grim Reaper, but it sounds spooky.
Can you imagine that? You're just driving along, something's like, all time freezes, starts walking again, everything goes back. No, dude.
No.
Mm-mm.
I do like the aircraft in the sky. Like the F-117 is triangular.
Yes.
But let me throw out another one, the B-2. The description of the sound of the
Like
engine,
a vacuum.
Well,
The
just
B2 is silent, though. That's the...
you don't remember the B-2 setting off car alarms in the Antelope Valley?
No.
That thing like shakes the ground when it's going.
Man, all the videos I've seen of that thing flying, it just looks like some missing pixels in the sky. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
But also just yesterday, and I believe it was out near Vegas, so this is a while back for our listeners. But there is a new video of something triangular shaped just tearing through the sky.
Hmm.
And it's pretty good.
Is it the Chinese?
No, I think it's
Us?
It's either us or an alien.
I mean, we were just talking about the sonic weapons and stuff like that. We need to do an episode on some crazy stuff like that, because when hearing that, you've heard of that for years, and then actually having recent stories of people being like, no, this was my head exploding from the inside. And you're like, oh.
Well, we were texting about it last night,
Mhm.
and I was telling you how I'd been hearing about this, something like this for like 2 or 3 weeks now
Mhm.
on different, basically open source, people.
Yeah.
And it's not ours. We got it from somewhere else, supposedly. If it
Aliens? Is that
no,
what?
I think another country, like maybe we stole it, or
The Chinese.
it might be. I mean, the one that we've been hearing about was supposedly Russian.
Hmm.
The ones that's targeted us, like in Cuba, like the Havana syndrome,
Yeah, but that was ages ago, right?
in the last probably 10 years.
That's
15
ages ago.
maybe.
As far as technology goes, that's ages ago.
It is. But this new thing, according to what the rumors I've been hearing, we got it. It's how we got it is going to be the interesting part. It hasn't gone into that yet.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing
maybe
about
that should be the Butterscotch Gang hang, like just an open discussion on crazy weaponry.
Yeah, because
That'd be fun.
there's a lot out there, and
There's a lot out there.
there's like that was used in Venezuela, is what they said.
Mhm.
And like I told you, that's a small weapon or a small piece of technology that we probably have. Like when you think about the SR-71 being
Mhm.
built in the late 50s,
True.
the F-117, I think they started designing that around the early 70s.
Yeah, we got stuff that no one could believe. And I just need, like, Trump is wild enough to just whip this stuff out, too. So you got to make it happen, big boy, all right?
I don't think...
Just do crazy stuff. I don't care. Let everyone know what we got while you're in there, and then things can return to normal and whatever.
Don't let everybody know, because we got a bunch of wars to fight. Not that I want to, but I just...
He wants to. He talks. That's all he talks about is how much he wants to go to war.
I'm
dude,
I'm nonviolent.
It's all peace.
Not quite that, but...
Okay. Well, I needed a segue into an intermission, so rub my wrinkly ball bag. Oh.
Please don't.
Well, the butterscotch gang got Werther's in our hands, talking ghosts and UFOs and early bird plans. We don't run from Bigfoot, we just wave hello, then we shuffle back inside before the evening show. Got blankets on our laps and fire in our souls, telling demon stories while complaining that we're cold. Don't eat TikTok.
There's a few different hoodies that I want to get of the new designs I've been working on. Like this beautiful Tall Tale Social Club double exposure Squatch, which features the same Bigfoot that is in the sticker pack, which is, might as well throw that out there for now, talltalesocialclub.com, or follow us on Instagram at talltalesocialclub. It's a little underground, indie kind of social club, if you will. Some intricate merch design, some neato stuff that doesn't say the freaky deaky on it. So if that's your...
You don't have to explain it to your boomer family.
Yeah, if that's your flavor. You know why I don't think that a lot of the merch, like the crazy designs, sell? Because 5% of our audience is under 25. Like 5% of it. Or maybe like 10%. But the vast majority of our audience is 36 to like 65. Okay, so when we call you the Butterscotch Gang, I hope you know that it's a genuine term of endearment. And it's very realistic. It's reality.
Plus, butterscotch is tasty.
It is. It's great. Anyway, we're going to get into this next story, which actually comes from another YouTube comment from Ariel Esposito. It's called The Majestic Wolfman.
Wolfman?
I know what Christian's thinking right off the bat.
Dogman doesn't exist.
Don't worry, Ariel. I believe you. And this is a doozy. Anyway, he said, the Dogman is real, all right. Off to a great start for Christian. Here's the story of my own encounter. Back in August of 1993 on my 200-acre family farm. What are you trying to brag? That's a lot of acres, dude.
I'd brag about that, too.
I would as well. Can we come? It's fine.
I don't want to do the work, though.
Yeah, can we just set up a little shack and talk about ghosts inside there?
I just go out in the field and stare at the stars at night.
Christian's great in the field for other things as well, if you need. So
I am not.
His no, it's fine, guys. We're not going to get into the ancestor bit again. We're going to have one episode where it doesn't get weirdly racist, okay? Can we do that? All right?
It's in your DNA, man.
Can we do that, please? God, every episode with you guys talking about weird racist stuff. And we still haven't blown up. I expected the racism to get us in front of more eyes so everyone could yell at us and become like a community pariah on YouTube, and it didn't happen.
Thank God.
I was like, something is going to get us in front of a lot of eyes, and it might not be good. Let's talk about racism. Anywho, sorry, Ariel, didn't mean to get derailed.
Let's get back to the real Dogman.
I had several encounters with a Dogman, both day and night. My closest encounters with this particular cryptid took place across 2 consecutive days in the summertime of 1993. My absolute closest encounter happened at around 4:30 p.m. on a beautiful August afternoon. I was driving a tractor across one of our farm fields down a worn path tractor lane. The lane goes past the edge of a 2-acre swamp, which was part of our overall 200-acre farm. Just as the edge of the swamp came into view, the cryptid stood out, in plain view, among the 10 feet tall, scrubby white pine trees that lined the edge of the swamp. This cryptid was easily as tall as the pine trees that he stood next to, which means that he was likewise about 10 feet tall. From the moment that the edge of the swamp came into view, he simply stared at me, making no sound, baring no teeth, as well as no grimace of aggression. As he stood, he seemed to be patiently waiting for me, as if he knew that I was about to drive by. Perceiving no harmful intent and feeling no sense of dread, I pulled my tractor over to the right shoulder of the tractor lane and shut off the engine. I immediately dismounted from the tractor and proceeded to stand on the edge of the tractor lane, all the while facing toward the cryptid, which was only 30 feet away on the opposite side of the tractor lane. As I stared and got a good look at him, I was impressed by how powerful and majestic he seemed to be. When you hear stories about the Dogman is usually described as looking ragged, filthy, and disgusting. This thing was the exact opposite of the Dogman, in that he probably should not be called Dogman, but more appropriately, Majestic Wolfman.
I like it. I can get behind that. I can't get behind Dogman.
It also sounds kind of like an 80s hair metal band. We are Majestic Wolfman.
Actually, it sounds to me like a government project dealing with off-planet intelligence.
12 Wolfmen. Exactly. His coloration was a creamy gray as the result of perfectly intermixing stout white hairs with stout black hairs. He had wonderful muscle definition. By the looks of him, he could grab a bear, any bear, by the front paws, rip it in half, and do so as easily as an ordinary man could rip a full-page newspaper in half. Until I got close and stared at him that afternoon, I hadn't noticed that a light breeze was blowing. Why did I suddenly notice the breeze right then? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever passed by a field of wheat and noticed the ripples that flow across the wheat tassels when even the lightest breeze blows?
And if you haven't, just go back to the movie Gladiator.
Gladiator, yes. Or listen to Fields of Gold by Sting and close your eyes.
Well, that's a good one. Good pull. Good pull.
Yeah.
That's a good song, too.
It is a great song. That's a record I need to get.
I could get behind that.
Just to play that one song. It's fun. Anyway, this cryptid had a broad and enormous chest, and the individual stout hairs of the fur on his chest performed the same breeze-driven ripple motion that is characteristic of wheat fields that I had previously seen. At that moment, as I stood on the edge of the tractor lane, I wanted to symbolically demonstrate that I had no gun and no aggressive intent. With this in mind, I held up my open palm, right hand, above my head, and there we both stood, me demonstrating my open hand and the Majestic Wolfman staring back at me, neither of us flinching an inch. After a full minute of this, I started to get bored, and so I decided that I wanted to get an even closer look at him. I put my hand down and I began to walk, at an even pace, straight towards the Majestic Wolfman. At first, other than my walking, nothing happened. However, when there was only 15 feet between us, everything changed. In a single motion, Majestic Wolfman produced a low, guttural roar, much like the sound that deer sometimes make. Simultaneously, Majestic Wolfman bared his teeth at me, but in an interesting way. He didn't bare his front teeth, but rather he raised his lips on both rear corners of his mouth, thereby displaying the whitest and squarest set of clenched rear molars that I had ever seen. In less than an instant, I realized that I was ticking him off, and so I spun around and made long strides back toward the tractor. As I ran, I counted my strides. When I got to a count of 4, I wondered why Majestic Wolfman hadn't caught me yet. So I stopped running. I looked far to my right, and then far to my left, and still saw nothing. So I decided to turn around to look back towards Majestic Wolfman. When I looked back at the spot where he had been standing, there was nothing there. He was gone. So I went back to the tractor, remounted, started the engine, and went home. That day was the last that I ever saw of him, but not the last sign of his presence. The next morning around 7:30 a.m., me and my dad took a tractor and a tow-behind wood cart to go cut wood. My dad drove the tractor and I sat next to him, up on the wheel fender. We traveled up the tractor lane, the same one that I had traveled down the day before. I never told my dad about my encounter with Majestic Wolfman. As we approached the spot where I had seen Majestic Wolfman, I kept my eyes peeled, trying to look deep into the edge of the dark, wooded swamp. I didn't see Majestic Wolfman, but what I suddenly noticed thoroughly amazed me. I immediately told my dad to stop the tractor. I got down, walked over to the edge of the wooded swamp, where I found that 2 full-grown trees had very recently been pulled up and out of the ground and then jammed straight back down into the ground, with wet mud and soil still hanging off of the inverted tree roots. We've seen that before.
Yes.
The inverted trees were set approximately 10 feet apart from each other. Whatever uprooted these trees and then shoved them back down into the ground had to be enormously powerful. My guess was that it was a symbol put there by Majestic Wolfman. I took it to mean that he considered the swamp to be his home, and that as long as I left him alone, he would likewise leave us alone. To this day, I think my guess was right. I stayed out of the swamp, and likewise, I never saw Majestic Wolfman again. I think my effort to communicate non-aggression by holding my hand up was both understood and appreciated. In a weird way, I kind of think I made a new friend that day.
Who sent this in?
This was Ariel Esposito. It was on YouTube.
Very well written.
It was very well written. We have a few longer stories in this episode. That's why there's not as many stories. And because we can't stop talking constantly all the time, nonstop. But that's for a different time.
I'm kind of mildly attracted to the Majestic Wolfman.
A little bit. It's hard not to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slightly aroused.
Yeah.
Slightly aroused. I mean, just the rippling hairs alone. You're like,
ooh, yeah, you had me there.
Count me in. Yeah. That's a very interesting story.
It is very interesting, and it takes me back to my theory that Dogman is just Bigfoot. But there's got to be something else involved in here.
Okay, this dude is saying he's 15 feet away from this thing. You're saying you're still mistaking this for a Bigfoot?
No, it's not mistaken. It's maybe that's what we're supposed to see. That's what we interpret.
But wouldn't he have called it like Gorilla Man or something if it was a majestic gorilla?
Not if it had appeared as a majestic wolf man. What I'm saying is maybe there's some camouflage technology involved here.
Wow.
You know, maybe these things are from off-world so that they can kind of appear differently. Or maybe when we see these things, we see them with our interpretations, like I've said before. I still struggle with the Dogman.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfman's a little bit more fun. Plus, we did that episode that basically talked about a wolfman in Europe attacking people. That was pretty convincing in a lot of ways.
So can't you just say that we're talking about the same thing?
That's what I'm saying.
A wolfman and a dogman. It's a canid that is upright on, this is a 10-foot tall canid too.
I'm sorry, that's impossible. So it's got to be something else.
I don't know.
But it appears.
I mean, just look at the top of this ceiling, right? This is probably 8.5 feet. Add another 18 inches on top of that. That is a tall wolf, dude. That is a majestic wolf, man. Can you imagine being, how old was he? He's at 5?
Okay, but...
he was like 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Sorry, Ariel. But yeah, just imagine, like, you're this big. And then you're just like staring up at this thing 15 feet away from you. And you're just like,
I'm trying to give you reasons why these things are being seen, even though I think it's impossible they exist. But they're still being seen. So there's something going on.
They are still being seen.
And the only thing I can think is some kind of camouflage technology. But also, you make a friend with a wolf man or a Bigfoot. Next time you're out there, take some food out there and throw it in the area and just leave. Then you're really friends.
I don't know how much you can satiate a majestic wolfman's appetite with a sandwich or something. This thing is gigantic. But I think it's really the thought that counts.
I wonder if the old Native American thing of tobacco would help. That would be fascinating. Folks that see...
How about you roll a spliff and go out there and just get loopy with the majestic wolfman?
I think you just leave it out there. It's just...
Oh, he doesn't...
Like a bag of...
That's kind of rude at that point.
You can leave some rolling papers.
It's like, bring me gifts, but I don't want your company.
Don't bring a lighter, because you never know which one of these random cryptids are pyros.
And it's really easy to singe hair, and these things are exclusively hair.
Yeah, if they catch on fire... You
don't want that problem, trust me.
They're definitely not going to forgive you. They might get your family.
Yeah.
I want more...
leave you alive so you can witness the terror.
I'd like more stories from Ariel.
I would as well. Ariel, come on back now. Great story. That was just like a random YouTube comment too, so I don't even know if Ariel watches the show or was just watching a Dogman episode and was like, I'll give you my idea or my story here. All right, we got one more we're going to close it out on. This is another YouTube comment. Wow. YouTube really coming in hot lately. We've been lacking in emails, but getting plenty of YouTube comments. So thank you. Keep it up. This is actually from your friend Indy.
Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, and don't forget to sign up for the memberships wherever you're listening.
Yeah, that too. Smash it all.
So this is...
You said Indy?
Yeah. This is a shadow person story from Indy.
Hey, Indy.
We actually also got a voicemail that we're going to put on a FRIGHTLINE that was sleep paralysis talk. and mentioned that if we wanted more information to like get in touch with him, he'd share more of his stories and stuff.
Was it Indy again?
It might have been.
He was just talking to me about it the other day.
Was he? So
about Colin.
About Colin? Okay, yeah, so it probably was Indy. But you didn't leave a name, so I don't know if you want her anonymous or not. Oopsie.
You better tell me quick if you do, because if I haven't heard it yet, but I'll recognize your voice.
That'll already be out, I think, if we get time to film it. Who knows? We're in so many different places. It's like everything all the time, all at once, whatever.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Everything all at once, every time. Everyone, every place. It's all crazy. It's all false. It's all a dream. It's all right. Me without you. Anyway, this is a shadow person story from Connection of Christians, apparently.
And yes, his name is truly Indy. I've seen his ID.
Okay, everyone was concerned about that. They're like, wait a second. I'll listen to the shadow person story, but you're telling me his name was Indy? Get out.
Yeah.
Christian talking about the weird parts. It's fine. I have a story to share about my experience with shadow people of the sleep variety. Ooh. I try not to tell this story and just leave it in the past, but I've been meaning to share it here. Though I feel like 90% of the scariness will be lost in translation by not actually telling it myself in person, take my word, this was terrifying in real life. Hey, Andy, by the way, you can come and sit in the studio and share stories if you'd like.
Let me, I think you need to bleep that one word out. Maybe he doesn't want to be.
Oh.
I mean,
I've heard you're known to sip Capri Suns with your friend Christian at lunchtime.
Much better.
You're more than welcome to come in the studio and sip Capri Suns with the both of us and share some stories if you'd like.
Scott once had a Capri Sun that...
I do need a reason to get Capri Suns. So if you're on board, I'll get Capri Suns. You can come in the studio, share some stories. We've never done a video episode of three folks, so we do kind of need to figure out the third camera.
Yeah.
But we'll buy a cheap 4K camera on Amazon, call it a day, you know? We'll do anything for the podcast. Well, I spent about 10 grand on this place already. It's fine.
It's coming back.
Yeah, $15 a month, $15 at a time. I'm recouping it all, guys. Don't worry. Anyway, so been meaning to tell it. It's terrifying in real life. Somewhat abbreviated version. Back in college, I felt like I was experiencing tons of demonic activity, hearing footsteps above me, but I lived on the top floor, hearing voices to the point I would sit in a dorm room and wait until I heard them say something, and then immediately do whatever it was I heard them saying to show them that I heard them. I know that makes me sound crazy, but I thought maybe I was being monitored or spied on, and I wanted whoever it was to know that I heard them. So I had a dorm room to myself, which was supposed to hold 4 people, and the college kept telling me they were probably going to move me out every 2 weeks to a room with 3 other people. The dorm was laid out in such a fashion, with a bathroom in the center of the room and 4 beds at each corner of the room. So as soon as you walk into the room, the bathroom door is straight ahead, 4 beds at every corner, and I chose the bed in the back right corner of the room. Every night, the staff would come into our rooms and do inspections, in the day and also in the middle of the night. Because I was so paranoid about the activity that had been going on, and I was the only one in the room, I found out if I locked the deadbolt on the door and left the lock diagonal, the bolt was actually locking the door. And when I woke up, I could check the position of the lock to find out if someone, the staff, had come into my room. Just something I like to keep track of. I know they had been into my room because when they left and locked the door again with the key, from the outside, the lever would turn the lock horizontal. There was no way to keep the bolt lever diagonal from outside with a key. It was only something you could do from the inside and still lock the door. So one night, I'm feeling particularly down. I wanted to write a letter to my father, which I think he was in prison at the time, and I had a recent ongoing theme of drawing portraits. So I drew a picture of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane as he is crying, praying to God the night he is to be taken by the soldiers to be crucified. I left it on my desk, figured I would write a letter and send it to him later. I go to sleep that night, and when I wake up, I'm completely paralyzed. And there's a figure, completely black, with claws and a red eye, peeping at me from around the corner.
One red eye?
Well, it's peeking.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where you were going with that, you little pervert. But
no, I wasn't going there. I was just confused for a second. I was like, do we have a Cyclops Shadow Man?
Heck yeah. I'm absolutely terrified. I want to scream, but I can't. I'm completely paralyzed. I can't even use my voice. It feels like I can't even breathe. It's at the far edge of my vision, standing at the edge of the bathroom, gripping the wall and staring at me. I want to get up, and I'm just stuck there. I keep trying with all my might. I'm sleeping with my hands on my chest. Eventually, I'm able to move just my pinky into my mouth and bite down on my pinky and try to pull my head up. I sleep without a pillow.
What the hell?
That might be the weirdest part of the story, man. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, it goes with the name, though.
Wow. Your name is Indy. Of course you don't sleep with a pillow. It's fine. Anyhow. So I sleep without a pillow to get a better look at the thing staring at me from around the corner. Eventually, I break out of it. I can't really remember how long I was paralyzed, but it felt like forever. I immediately get up and check the lock. It's still diagonal. So that tells me no one ever entered the room. The room is empty. It's just me. I came back to my bed, where there's the picture on the desk in front of my bed I drew of Jesus. I realized the demon, what I'm going to call it, could not even come within line of sight of the picture of Jesus. That's why they were standing around the corner peeping at me with one eye. I'm convinced it was the drawing representing Jesus, and I don't credit supernatural powers to a drawing, but I mean it in the symbolic sense that Jesus was literally keeping the demons at bay. I have since had no more experiences with shadow people. That's a very creepy story. I don't like things peeking at people. That's, if you're going to peek at someone, come stand right out in the open and stare with both your eyes, okay?
Both red eyes.
Both red eyes or no red eyes. Clear eyes. Stupid, dude. The things that remind me of commercials, marketing really got to me. You know?
We've been branded.
At Eugene Levy. Anyway, back to Indy.
So what do you think?
That's creepy, dude.
It is creepy.
Yeah, I'm not a big shadow person guy. I've seen a few in my day. Not a big fan, you know? So anytime I hear other people share their experiences, it usually puts mine to shame. I'm always like, oh, I guess mine's a little milquetoast now. But the fact that people can actually have crazy experiences like this with these things is it's a little much for me. You remember Tristan back in the day? Was it his story? They said grabbed him or something like that, and he was like staring at its face, and there's this weird shifting thing that was going. I don't know, man. Shadow people that's like a whole vibe to themselves, and I'm like, no, thank you. Keep that party to you. Let me exist in the land of the living and do nice things. You know.
What if shadow people are just like some form of watchers? That's all they do is watch us.
Well, that's what it feels like, but
Yeah.
for what purpose that's what it is. It's not that they exist. It's that we don't know why they do what they do. You know, like it could just be a simple, like we've had discussions about being like people that are maybe astral projecting,
Yeah.
like stuff like that, or maybe some kind of dimensional peepers, you know?
What if they're like our guardian angels and we've monsterized them because they startled us a couple times? They're just there to look out for us, and all of a sudden we're talking trash about them,
I mean,
calling them demons.
I think the stories that were negative kind of speak for themselves on the whole. Definitely not being guardian angels thing. I don't know. I have read, I mean, very few and far between, but I have actually read some stories of like shadows being helpful.
Yeah.
Like the helpful shadow person or whatever. And like I said, rare. Most of the time it's terror and just spying on you for no reason.
Also,
So it's probably the government.
for sure. Also, if it's a common thing for you to be visited by a shadow man, maybe it's time for cameras in your room.
Oh, yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
a mirror above.
No, not that.
Maybe a
Just
mirror
a
above the bed
regular
while you're at it.
camera so we can see. So when you have a shadow man experience, we can see if they show up on film.
Mhm. And the mirror above the bed so we can see if they try to get weird with you.
I don't want to see that.
Christian, stop lying.
No, man. I'm
You
not.
telling me you don't want to see a supernatural entity
man.
come in and do weird stuff to someone?
Maybe the Majestic Wolf, but not Wolfman, but
No.
not a shadow person. I mean,
No, I think we're talking.
can
Yeah.
you even truly get an opinion on body shape if they're just a shadow?
Yeah, where does consent fall in with the
Right,
supernatural?
exactly.
So
I don't understand that part of it.
that's the dicey subject of the day. Where does consent come in with supernatural entities, the succubi, incubi, the freakybi, the bye?
Succubi, consent given.
There you go.
Saying.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I've had an interesting encounter with one of those myself, but we'll get into that when we have a lot more followers, all right? Because I'm not sharing that with 8 people, okay? I'm not trying to make Christian wildly uncomfortable in front of 8 people. It's got to be way more than that.
I'm actually pretty sure I don't ever want to hear this story anyway.
Exactly. So that's why you have to subscribe and get a lot of people. Guys, the more the merrier. Come on.
Yeah.
It's like a little weird cult thing we got going on. I am actually so over the way that most paranormal shows have been done recently, because it's all just flashy and it's all like, oh. And guess what? That's not the reality of it. The reality is you go to work and you hate your life and you come home and talk about ghosts every once in a while. And that's what we do here.
Supernatural is a lot more mundane in general than people give it credit for.
To an extent, yes.
Well, when it's happening, I mean, it's happening to you as you're living your normal life. I mean,
I don't know for me personally if it's jealousy of the big guys getting way bigger and just taking over the paranormal world. If it's a jealousy standpoint where I'm like, I don't like that. Like I'm just left out in the rain or something like that. Or if it's genuinely me being rubbed the wrong way with how they're presenting things. And I feel like it's both. So
for me, it's not jealousy.
Well, yeah, of course not jealous. So just take Christian's word for this thing.
But
it's getting too much. It's becoming too much.
It's like some of the UFO stuff that we have to suffer through, where people just like, they may see a weird light in the sky and all of a sudden it's legitimately an alien. I'm not doing any more checking into whether I saw that right, whether there was a plane in the area at the time or anything like that.
Feeling slightly called out by this, but okay.
No, but you don't go and...
I've filmed UFOs in the backyard several times.
That's perfectly fine, but to sensationalize something that really has nothing to... Lights in the sky are not sensational. They're fascinating. You should stare at them.
It is. That's a great point. It's the sensationalism. And that's what I understand gets views, which is probably why we haven't blown up, because we're not like that. But it is the sensationalism of everything, where everything is so blown in, like out of proportion to like, we're talking life or death here, folks. You need to listen to this episode. You don't understand what's going on out there in the crazy world. I'm going to teach you right now. Subscribe. Make sure you pay me $10 a month for it. Like that's the type of stuff where I'm just like, okay, come on. At what point do we realize that we're just court jesters, guys? We're just talking about freaky stuff. Come get freaky with us. Come get freaky with us. You know? And I think that should be the end, because I think I don't want to edit more.
Okay, good, because I just burped into the microphone.
Oh, well, I guess that's how we end things now, Christian. Thank you. Until next time, go check out whatever we told you. Become a member wherever you're listening. And if you don't have the option where you're listening, tell us what it is, and I'll let you know if we can do that. And if not, then we tried our best. See you later.
Bigfoot is stalking by your window. Dogman is scratching at your door. Ghosties are walking up and down your halls at night, and the Hat Man is coming back for more. Your name is Christian, you love a can of beans, and you're the wettest blanket skeptic this world has ever seen.
You're almost always wrong.
Almost always wrong. It's quite an impressive streaky. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Dicky. Your name is Christian. You're named ironically, 'cause the only belief you have can be found in a can of beans. You're almost never right, and now you get roasted weekly. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Dicky. Also, ghosts exist, just an FYI. Aliens are feeling